Now, what were the lyrics to Life is a Highway?
I'm a single mom who works too hard.
Life's like a road that you travel on.
Life's
one
like
day.
a road.
You don't know that one?
Life is a highway. I'm going my way all night long.
We know parts of songs. We know like clips of.
I know, like, because I see just myself sitting in the back of the theater watching Cars for the first time.
And just start singing Beyonce.
No, it's Life is a Highway, because like Elvis.
But you just started singing Beyonce.
I started singing Reba.
Reba.
I'm a single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops.
So he doesn't know Life is a Highway, and I don't know the difference between Reba and Beyonce.
You do not, apparently.
That's what we've discovered.
It's also the theme show to Reba, the sitcom.
This might be the worst intro we've ever done.
It might have been the worst intro we've ever done.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Subject Matter. I'm your host, Stephen Jenkins, here with your co-host, Mr. Jonathan Dayton, and special guest, Mr. Colby Mallery. We're experts in nothing, and we're here to give you our thoughts and opinions on all of it. So right off the bat, I just want to say we want to apologize for not having an episode last week. We had a guest that kind of backed out at the last second, and then there were some technical issues with the editing, and basically I called Jonathan, and we kind of both agreed that even if we could get it released on time and all edited, the actual conversation that he and I had, just the two of us, just wasn't quite there for what we wanted to release.
Yeah.
And so
it can always be a backup episode.
If
you want to see it, make a special release.
Make a special something, I don't know.
It was a
Something
conversation.
Like it was an interesting conversation. It wasn't terrible, but we decided it would just be easiest to just go ahead and skip that week and come back this week. So we are back with Colby Mallery, brother-in-law of Jonathan, brother of Addie Mallery, who was on, I guess, the last episode we would have had. Mm-hmm. So, Colby, go ahead and introduce yourself for us.
Hey, so I'm Colby. You know me a little bit. You know me a little bit. I'm here, just mutual friends. So, what am I? Who am I? So, basically, I'm a senior at Calvary Christian Academy. I'm going to ACM, Allegheny College of Maryland, our local community college. I'm studying in automotive tech and also going to be playing soccer there this semester. So, super excited about that. Still keeping my sports passion alive, but also pursuing something I really enjoy.
So you're graduating, you said, this...
Yes, yeah. Actually, May 20th is my graduation, and so I have not less than 30 days, and I'm out to the real world doing adult stuff.
It's similar for me, because I graduate in, like, a week from when this episode premieres, literally a week. And, and then I realized that, like, I don't get a summer either. I'm just working now.
Yep.
And I
Welcome
won't
to the real world.
Right, and I won't just, like, even you're continuing education somewhat, so
yes,
it's not quite the same.
But I'm working.
It's more of an add-on to your work, and
yeah,
so it's even worse for you.
It is.
So the topic we're going to talk about tonight, Colby wanted to talk about Cars, not the movie. That's where we got the idea for the intro, which was the worst intro we've ever done.
No, that was beautiful.
Okay, if you say so. But go ahead, tell us what aspect of Cars. I assume you mean actual cars and not the movie Cars.
I love the movie Cars, but yes, the automobiles.
Okay, so what aspect of automobiles would you like to talk about this evening?
I would just like to really anywhere you want to take it, we can go there.
Okay.
I love cars for multiple different reasons.
Okay.
They can bring thrill. They can bring entertainment. You can create a hobby with them to distract you from other aspects of life. But I love cars because it's a community of people who can come together and appreciate that aspect of life. Where you can have, maybe you're stressed at school, you're stressed at work, you need a time, okay, call some of your friends together if you have nice cars. Go on a drive at 7 p.m. when the sun's setting. You can just escape from the real world. And I love cars for so many different aspects. You can have people who lift really big trucks. People who slam Honda Civics, straight pipe them, make them as loud and obnoxious as they can. You have people who rep minivans, okay? Minivans are super cool. I have a minivan. Minivans are awesome.
The interesting thing, so I'll just, we'll talk about, I'm going to ask two questions here in a second.
Sounds good.
So the first question I'm going to ask is, what is your if you could choose a car that's not like your like dream car, like you're probably never going to get this car, dream car, but like if some like 10 years in the future when you have enough money to buy the car that you want, I'll ask what car that is, and then I'll also ask sort of a, and maybe I'm the only one that has this, but embarrassing car that you used to want maybe when you were younger. So I too wanted a minivan. Okay, now that's not the embarrassing part. Props to you for having a minivan. Okay, I wanted a minivan that was lifted with dual wheels in the back. I wanted flames for the minivan. I wanted disco ball lights put in for the blinkers, so whenever you turned on your blinker, it would just do a disco ball in the back. And I wanted this is when I was, this is probably about 10 years ago. I wanted rainbow flames on my minivan.
Nice.
Again, this was 10 years ago, and I had no idea about anything and why that wouldn't be cool. But that's what I wanted. And as soon as I said that out loud to anybody, my hopes and dreams were quickly smashed, and I was disheartened. I assume you didn't have anything as exciting as that particular car.
No, I mean, I just wanted a vehicle to drive around in. I liked luxury vehicles growing up just because, I don't know, because they look nice inside, and I'm more of an interior vehicle person than exterior. Like heated seats, cold seats, nav system, like that stuff interests me. However, not a hugely over fancy person, so I didn't need that in a vehicle. But I had a very nice first vehicle, though. I had a very nice first car. Didn't think I was going to like a car, I'll be honest with you. I drove SUVs and trucks. I learned how to drive in a truck. So I thought a truck was something that I would want, or an SUV of some sort. But I got a car for my first vehicle and thoroughly enjoyed driving a car. And I would actually probably revert back to that if I had the opportunity.
Cool. What about you? And can I get you to paint your car with rainbow flames?
If right now, unfortunately, the van is getting a biopsy right now.
Okay.
Prayers
for the minivan.
It is in the shop. It's tough. It's tough on me right now.
We're with you.
And so if I get it back and it's working,
okay.
I got clearance from my parents. The hubcaps are coming off, and I'm painting the wheels,
nice.
And I have full permission to actually paint it. So if we want to...
So whatever we want to do...
if we want to, we can turn it into a hype van.
So I've heard the upgrades to this van before, knowing Colby outside of this. However, my question for you is this a amateur paint job or is this a professional paint job?
Amateur? No, not a professional paint job. No.
Okay.
Fair enough.
No.
I figured that was kind of the answer that I had in my head. So
if we end up
confirming my thoughts.
If we end up doing that, we'll post it on the... We'll do an episode on it. Okay, so now moving on to more realism. Is there any specific... And I'm not saying you can't choose another minivan, but is there any car that you think like in 20 years... you'd like to see yourself driving? That's like a,
So I would say, 20 years. That's
10 or 20, whatever you want to go.
So I can say 10 years. My dream car would be, I guess, dream reasonable car, a Hyundai Veloster N. They retail. The one I want, actually, there's one at our local Hyundai dealership that I stop at every Wednesday and Sunday whenever I'm passing through there, and I just look at it. Actually, funny. Listen, funny story is. The first time I saw it there, we were driving by and I saw it. I was like, oh, they have one. Like they haven't had there forever. Like I've been looking. So I stopped there with my minivan that night, looking at it. Next day, come out of school, pull away from school. My van just starts screaming at me and just yells and just. I think it knew I was cheating on it. Like I think I knew it was cheating on it.
Well, did you drive that van to go look at the car?
Yeah, I did.
I think it did. What Herbie the Love Bug type story is going on?
Man.
Dude, I don't know. And then, because I've been driving my mom's car, I look at it again, drive off a lot the next day. My mom's maintenance required light comes on in her car.
It knows.
And so it's been pretty scary. But the Hyundai Veloster N, it's a cute little hatchback, front wheel drive. $34,000 is its retail. It comes in an 8-speed wet dual clutch, or I guess the one that I want it's a great car. Comes on Pirelli P0s, which Pirellis are fantastic tires. The tires on most F1 cars, just great tires, and it comes factory on a $34,000 hatchback. Just so many pros about it. It's just a great entry-level performance hatchback. And so that would be my dream realistic car.
So for me, I'm currently driving a Honda Element. Now, there's two groups of people, and there's no in between. People love my Honda Element, and I'm, of course, in that category. And people who don't like my Honda Element, and I'm not sure if Jonathan's in that category or not, but...
In between. I like your
I just
vehicle.
said there's no in between.
No in between.
No, there has to be an in between. I like your vehicle, however, I don't like your vehicle at the exact same time. I feel that it needs to be a newer vehicle. Maybe it's just the age of vehicles that I'm not.
Oh, and that's perfectly valid. I mean, I've had a cracked windshield for the past, like,
At least
8 months, since December.
8 months.
So, yeah, it's... the age of the vehicle certainly plays a role. The issue is that they stopped making Honda Elements in 2011. So that's about...
Yeah, and you had tire issue at one point that I think I'm the one that noticed and told you your tire was going flat at one point.
Well, that's just a tire issue. It has nothing to do with
But
the car
still,
itself.
it's definitely the car itself. It's not just the tire. It's definitely...
You've been on my driveway. You know how bad that
The car is definitely part of the factor in that.
Well, anyway, so I love the Honda Element specifically for the storage space because, like, even in the back, like, the seats, like, fold all the way down and then they fold up, so you have a ton of storage space. You can transport TVs that are way too big. If you're gonna kidnap a person, you can shove them. Like, you can at least fit 5 people back there if you wanted to.
It's good to know.
Yeah, it's great.
It is good to know.
Good stuff.
And I just enjoy it. And then there's a couple other things that I like about it that are just, they're not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of a car. But, like, there's no actual center console. Like, there's just, like, an open space, kind of like a minivan, actually.
Yeah, that's,
like,
how my minivan. It has a center console, but you press the little lever, and it just drops it against the passenger side door, or a passenger side chair, and so it's just an alley.
Right, and that's one of the small things that I like about it. However, there are very, unless I'm getting a minivan or another somewhat similar car, there are very few cars that have all of those specific things. And so for my car that I'd like to see myself have in 10 years, and it's a big jump from a Honda Element, but I'd love a Hummer.
I knew you were gonna say that too.
And I know. As soon as I
told me that,
as soon as I told anybody that, they're like, "But you're gonna pay a lot for gas," and I'm like, "I know, but they're cool. If I'm gonna have the storage space and I'm gonna, do an upgrade in that area."
Have you seen the new Hummer that General Motors has released?
I might have. I haven't specifically looked at it.
It is a luxury vehicle now.
Okay.
It is.
And it is, so, like, shooting around $90,000 is, like, the price range. It is insane.
So 20 years.
It's
Pretty close to his budget.
versus the 8 miles per gallon that it would average. It's now fully electric and runs about 1,000 horsepower and 1,000 pound-feet of torque.
So it'd save you money in the long run.
It would save you
Exactly.
money, and it is incredible. It has some of the most insane features that
Insert
have not
picture
been seen.
here.
Insert
somewhere.
picture. Yeah. That is pretty cool. If we get Samsung to sponsor us, as we've been saying for the past couple weeks,
I need to get on that.
maybe we can get.
I've been pretty busy. I've been
maybe
pretty
in
busy
30
life
years
to make
I'll
some
have
just,
that car.
just make some random emails to people to sponsor us, but that will come. It will come.
So what about you, Jonathan? Do you have any specific?
Tesla.
I know you have a story you want to talk about.
Tesla.
But Tesla.
I want a Tesla. I've said that for a while. I also would like a truck too because doing stuff outdoors, trucks do come in handy. I feel like I quite frequently ask Steven if we need to borrow his family's truck to do stuff, or also borrow my father's truck to do stuff. I feel that having a truck just makes things easier as far as hauling stuff in the back and towing things that need to be towed. Because I put a hitch on my car last year and that was a pain in the butt to do. Anyways. Funny story, not related to vehicles at all. However, it does relate to Steven. And as soon as he said vehicle and his vehicle,
I think storage space was what prompted
maybe it did. It prompted a story. So, short version of the story is Steven decided around Thanksgiving that he really wanted to go get a television for his room. I said, fantastic, let us go to Costco. Costco, we have a membership, Addie and I do. So let's go to Costco. There's great deals there. So does Sam Clubs, but we have Costco. So we went down to Winchester to get this television. We cleaned out Addie's vehicle, which used to be my vehicle, a Jeep. We thought plenty of room, seat down. I mean, the thing's 40 inches wide. I mean, put something in there that's like 6, 7 feet deep. Plenty of room. However, different mindset when we got to Costco. Steven decided that we were going to get a very, very large TV. How big is your TV, Steven?
So when I said, Jonathan, are we going to have space for this TV?
I'm thinking 50-inch television, max.
I
right?
was thinking 75.
Yeah.
Which is what we got.
So we were a little bit off. So Steven decided, let's buy this 75-inch 4K LED, a whole bunch of different names and number display. Like, looks fantastic.
75-inch LG 4K QLED TV.
Yeah, thank you, Steven. So we proceed to check out this television. As we were walking out of the store, my words were out of my mouth. I'm not entirely sure this is going to fit in the vehicle. However, maybe diagonally it will. Turns out it won't.
It won't fit anyway.
So we decided ratchet straps would be the appropriate thing to do. We do have roof racks on the Jeep. So, back in the store, no ratchet straps. Costco, wholesaler, no ratchet straps. They do have twine at the responsibility of the customer. So we did get a lot of twine, and we cut it, and we proceeded to put the television on top of the car.
With twine.
With twine.
Yeah, you might not have heard the story before. We with twine.
I haven't heard the story.
So we did that. I being in the fire service and being used to be a Cub Scout, I knew knots, and I assumed that what we had was secure. It was secure. We decided we still needed ratchet straps. However, there was two Lowe's at Winchester. One that was 1 minute away. However, we completely bypassed that for some reason and went to the Lowe's on the other side of town.
No explanation for why we skipped that one.
No idea either. We did go there. We did buy a 4-pack ratchet straps. We did ratchet it to the top of the vehicle.
To be clear, just in case people don't realize what we're saying here, we took a 75-inch TV
that cost
strapped
over $1,000.
That is not. It did not cost over $1,000, but
it was pretty close.
It was close to $1,000. It was a very expensive TV. Because I hadn't bought anything last year, and I wanted to treat myself. So we tied it to the top of a car with twine and drove on the freeway, going about 40 miles an hour for 8 minutes.
Yes.
To get to Lowe's to get ratchet straps.
Yes. As every minute was, Steven checked the TV, and you put your hand up out the window, and
it was
still there.
You know.
So we get to Lowe's, buy ratchet straps. Great ending. Semi-great ending to the story. But the funny thing was, we put the ratchet straps on. This is more my fault. However, I did have 2 other individuals with me that I thought would have figured out the solution. I put the straps on with the windows down, straight through the vehicle, yada yada yada, because that was the easiest way to do it, to just compress it down to the racks versus trying to finagle it on top. However, by doing so, we ratchet strapped the doors shut. So only one door in the car was free at the time.
Mine.
Meaning when we wanted to enter and exit the vehicle, we had to go in through one door. We decided we were going to go to eat afterwards, since I'm rushing the story. We went to eat afterwards, and it began to start drizzling rain, which also worried us a little bit. And we drove an hour and 25 minutes home. It did not falter. It was a little wobbly. It was very nerve-wracking the trip home, because we did have the window crack. We were looking out the window, hand up above, checking it. Did not fall off. We got back to Steven's car. Steven said he had enough room in his vehicle. He did, however, have room in his vehicle. However, his hatch was not shut. So we could have took his vehicle.
Ratchet strap.
We still would have came in the same situation, and we would have needed twine and the ratchet strap. So either way, I feel like the Jeep story was more interesting because it.
Yeah. It was quite... The best part about this story, at least in my opinion, is the fact that this was happening literally the Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
Before Thanksgiving, at like 11 o'clock.
I didn't get home until I think
it was midnight. It was midnight when we got home. Yeah. It was an interesting story.
So now you know the story.
Now you know the story of television.
That's crazy.
And the TV is operational. Steven has it. It looks great.
If you want to see the TV, you can actually go back to the Jacob Wilson episode and that little intro I did. It's literally sitting in the back of my room. It's too big for my room.
I was about to ask, how big is your room that you have a 75-inch TV?
How did you put it up?
Big.
Didn't you
So
we're not talking about cars anymore. We're talking about television.
This is just a sidebar. We'll get back to cars in just a second. So the TV is too big to sit on any of the pieces of furniture in my room, like my dresser or anything like that. So what I did was, it has 2 legs on the ends of it, and so I just straddled it between 2 pieces of furniture, which is actually nice because it's a perfect place. I have a speaker set and a record player, and I can keep a whole bunch of stuff under the TV, and it's just convenient. You plug it right into the TV, and it's very convenient.
And to this day, if you don't believe that story, I cut all the twine off out of the roof racks of Addie's Jeep, except for one piece that is still there.
It's still there.
From Thanksgiving. Roof rack, left side.
You can
driver's
never
side.
cut that off. Even
And
when you
every
sell
time,
it,
every
it has
time,
to
every time I
remain
fuel
there.
the car up or wash the car, I see it down. I make a point to, hey, get home, Jonathan, cut that off, throw it in the trash can. However, I have not. It is still
Now you can't. You're not
tied
allowed.
You
to
can.
the roof rack.
I
So
forbid you.
it will probably stay there forever.
Technically,
Means it was a
because
good knot.
my
Means it was a
Jeep.
great.
It means it was a good
great knot. It hasn't come off.
I do want to know what would have happened had we actually tried to drive home with just the twine and not the.
I think we would have been okay. However, I think we would have had to stop at least once to tighten them down.
Yeah.
The twine, however, was not as taut as the ratchet strap, so there was a little bit of stretch, and so every time it shifted and moved, it came a little bit looser. So I feel like we had to stop and tie it down a little tighter. But I think we could have made it home.
We probably could have.
We
It
probably
would've-
had 100 feet in twine. I mean, we had it wrapped like,
It's
and
insane.
we had it wrapped in different angles, front to back, hitched. If it would have came loose, I would have been very impressed that it
Yep.
would go self loose.
So back to the cars conversation.
Nice.
Or anything you wanna talk
after a
about, yeah.
10-minute detour, go ahead and so we talked about. Oh, did I ask you, Jonathan, about
I said
car?
Tesla.
Tesla, that's right. Yeah. So as far as anything else, so like with cars, you said about how you have certain like groups you just want to have fun,
Mm-hmm.
you do different things. What's your best memory of doing something like that?
Ooh, that's a good question. So probably a night after a soccer game, it was just me and some friends just went out for a drive and got ice cream, and we went up to a mountain where there was an overlook, and because it was a lot of us, probably about like 14. Again, I have the minivan.
Mm-hmm.
I can fit the most people.
About 14 people.
About 14, depending how many per seat. And it was just a great time, like music blaring, carving up. I guess in a minivan you can't really carve corners, but like we're driving up this mountain,
Putting up a mountain.
and it was just a great time. And so it's just one of those moments where like you see friends in front of you, friends behind you, and just like you're in a great place mentally. Like you're kind of like distracted against everyone, just like it's the wind blowing in your face. Just like it was just a great memory that like I have, and it's like I'm never gonna lose it.
I like it. I think probably the TV store is probably my favorite. There was another one where I've gone on like day trips. We some friends and I went indoor skydiving one time, and we just played like literally music throughout each decade, just as we were going down there. So that was fun. Do you have any?
I just enjoy driving. I used to enjoy driving when I was like in high school, like Colby, and I think it was fun. Some people don't like driving at all. Addie being one of those people that does not like driving at all. I enjoy it. Now working and having a commute every day, not a huge fan of it,
Yeah.
but you know, it is what it is. Colby, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So you want to go into auto tech, auto mechanic,
Yeah.
is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So is that your goal in life to become a mechanic, or do you want to do that
No.
and then move on? Okay, that's
So automotive tech is what I want to get into because that gives me the most automotive experience the quickest I can.
Mm-hmm.
However, right now my life that's my path I'm going to, but then it splits.
Mm-hmm.
I'm either gonna transfer to FSU for journalism and be an automotive journalist, or I want to continue down the career and go and find someone to mentor like out of town into tuning, because I love computers and electronics. And so it went from a time, back in the day, whenever you tune a car, to make a car faster through like whatever ways, opening up the just different ports throughout the car to let more airflow in, or just restrictor plates, take those off, and you get a faster car. Now it is, how can you program your engine to make the perfect gas and air mixture to make your car as fast as you can? And so like that's basically the whole principle of tuning. So there's a lot of coding, a lot of it's just like building a computer. You have a lot of software parts and you have a lot of hardware parts. Put those together, you get a great computer. And so just like a vehicle. And so either I can go automotive journalism or tuning. And so I'm not sure, I'm not there yet in my life, but those are the branches I would like to go into.
So with that, would you go to, if you're going to go for something in journalism, would you do something like communications studies, or would you do something like mass communications, or is there something else that you've looked into?
Communication studies and just get a broad journalism look.
Okay.
And so once you learn how to write, you can kind of start getting plugged in with Motor Trend or just a bunch of these bigger automotive journalist magazines, because they're just magazines or websites. And so but they only look for people who actually have a journalism degree.
Okay.
And so you can't get there unless you
That makes sense.
Yeah, unless you have some journalism background. And so that's why I want to go into automotive tech, so I have an idea of how how cars work,
Right.
and then get into somewhere where I can enjoy myself more. Because I have a friend in my life who went into, loved cars growing up, then became a mechanic. 30 years later, he hates cars, and the only job he has is twisting wrenches all day, and whenever he gets home, he wants nothing to do with cars, because that's his entire day already.
That makes sense. Have you ever considered, with that, have you ever considered doing the journalism as your main job, and then the other stuff, doing that almost as a hobby or a side project?
Yes, that is what I want to get into, because you can have your journalism job, which pays, and then on the side, using that pay, kind of tamper with your car or do whatever you want to and get involved in that area because you already know how to do it because of my automotive tech background. And so that's kind of where I'm shooting at right now.
Makes sense.
You do TikTok journalism and be like Daniel.
Yeah.
Daniel Mac. Love Daniel Mac. It's crazy how that's one of the things, TikTok has as a joke it is, and kind of all social media platforms has really grown the car scene, because you look back 15 years ago, there's no social media. What do you do when you look at cars? You go to car shows.
Yeah.
You look at car magazines that you have to pay subscriptions for. Now that we have all these different social medias coming in, we have this just expansive car universe, which ultimately brings everyone together in some way. If you like cars in general, whether you like all these type of builds, it's just a community, which is why I love cars.
Just the way you're talking right now tells me you need to go into car journalism.
I love it.
That's exactly how I imagine somebody writing an article or something like that. And that's not an insult. That's a very good thing.
Okay, now one thing I think it's cool with a minivan, I have a lot of options to do things with it with a very low budget scale. For example, I took all my seats out in the back. From the D pillar,
Okay.
I hung, all my seats are out. So which is one thing I realized about 2012 minivans, because they're kind of older, you can just strip the whole back out versus all these fancy heating and cooling back seats. No, those are stuck in there. Just rip everything out. In fact, I didn't have a truck this summer. I wanted to make some money. What I did is I put push mowers in the back, leaf blowers, weed whackers, all in the back of this minivan. I took it places I did yard work in a minivan. It was great.
That's impressive. I've thought before what alterations you could do to a Honda Element, and I don't know, nothing like that because the seats already fold up in the back. But
Yeah,
that's exactly kind of what I thought when I used to want a minivan. It was for that reason, just all the space, and you can just kind of morph it into whatever you want. But
I like the hustle. I like the hustle.
Yeah.
Doing some yard work.
And then I started
Did you get good money from doing that? Or?
I made decent money, yeah. Money as much you could do with my outreach that I had.
Right, yeah.
And then I got not bored with that, but I want to do something different. I was like, okay, yard work is cool, I can put this, but what else can I do with my minivan? Again, seats are out of it, so I have a bunch of space back there. I hung a hammock.
I was gonna say this, Stephen. However, I knew that he was gonna go this route anyway, so I just.
You hung a hammock.
I hung a hammock.
He did.
From my D pillar in the back to my A pillar on my passenger side, and it worked perfectly as a hammock. Perfectly.
I'd been in this hammock.
Legally, we're going to say you never used it while driving. And we're going to leave it at that.
However, while stationary, it's very comfortable.
Yes. I thought the most, because I saw your van back at Christmas. And I thought that was impressive then, because it wasn't official, but so what I did for my Honda, I got obviously the tacky antlers and reindeer nose. And then inside, I had an actual small Christmas tree sitting in between me and the passenger seat. And then I got a bunch of Christmas blankets, strung them up in the back. And then I actually got Christmas lights. I got an actual adapter to plug in Christmas lights to my the outlet in my car. And I strung them up all over the back. And I was all right, this is pretty good. And then I saw yours, and it was, I forget what all was in it, but I was just like, okay, respect.
So for Christmas time, messed around with my minivan again. Went to Five and Below, got 5-foot candy canes, hung them like sleighs. I don't know, on a sleigh, on the roof racks.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, I get a 3-foot reef slapped out in the front, along with the peppermint nose with the antlers on the side, and then I was like, okay, this looks cool. What else do I get? those spray paint snow, put that on the windows, got magnet lights, then put magnet lights on the side, and to top it off, I put an elf on the very back that's only its bottom half. So when I shut my trunk, it looked like I smashed an elf in.
So I think you clearly won the exterior portion, and then because did you do anything inside?
No, I did not have a small Christmas tree.
Okay, so you didn't have anything inside. So I get the interior. You got the ex.
But
next year we need a tag team.
I agree.
So that we can have the full. We should do a subject matter car decoration.
I'll
party.
judge. Much respect to both of them.
I'm thinking we pitch in
If
$3,000. No.
I don't do anything on my car. It's got to be clean as can be. However, my wife is a complete disaster when it comes to cleanliness of vehicles. However, clean car, exterior, interior.
You literally have a death stare coming from her off screen
That's
right now
okay.
for saying that.
Okay. That's
She
completely
can
okay.
join, and then we'll get somebody else who actually cares about this type of thing to judge.
I'll judge. I like the idea. Personally, could not do that to my vehicle. Don't have the heart and guts to do that to my own vehicle.
Honestly,
enough.
I like tag teaming. Let's get a 13-passenger van. Let's tag team it.
We'll just see who can. Let's host. We'll talk about it. We'll host a competition. It's only April, but Christmas is my favorite time of year, and I start planning early. So we'll do it.
Funny thing, and I can't reveal this all on camera because it's not relevant to anyone now. But if you know kind of what I do for work, ironically enough, I just bought him a van yesterday.
Really?
I did. I'll show you off camera.
Cool.
You'll be impressed with
And
said
so we'll
vehicle.
get it. We'll start right now.
And when we can reveal it, I'll reveal to the listeners exactly what it is because it does involve everyone. It's kind of cool.
Cool. All right. I have no idea what that means, but we'll take care of it. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. Make sure you comment what your favorite car is, what your favorite car story is, and how tacky you think we are for all of our Christmas decorations. And if you saw either of us on the road by any chance and you were wondering who the heck decided to do that. Once again, thanks, Colby, for being on. And we will see you guys next week. You all have a wonderful day.
Peace.